Welcome to Mobile by May with Steve May, where we will discuss all things Mobile. Steve is a licensed residential realtor and home builder in the state of Alabama, and he is passionate about historic preservation and revitalization, in addition to repurposing historic architectural salvage to help maintain the character and charm of these beautiful homes. He has been instrumental in helping to revitalize historic neighborhoods by restoring 18 homes, even some that were scheduled to be demolished, and turning them into treasures, including his own home that was moved across town to save it from the wrecking ball. Mobile has so much promise with gorgeous historic architecture and the natural beauty of ancient live oaks lining the streets, and by working together, we can make it better for the next generation. We will be showcasing exciting new developments, real estate, home renovation, design, and Mobile history into each episode to provide a full understanding of the culture and heritage of this special city on Mobile Bay.
Hey, good morning, everybody. We are at Ashland Place Historic District. I'm Steve May. I'm a historic preservationist, a realtor, and a home builder.
And I'm Lisa Stutzman-Graves, and I am a lover of historic homes. Look at this beautiful door behind us. Oh, I really want this door. And big old oak trees. And Steve and I are having so much fun bringing you Mobile by May and all the different historic districts we've covered so far. Loving Ashland Place. We're going to do some videos of the trees here. You're going to fall out. You're not going to be the same. Lots of great things to talk to you about in this episode. Steve has been nominated for a NAPPY. It's a big award here in Mobile, and he is in the running. So we're going to tell you all about how you can vote for that. It's basically a reader's choice from a local newspaper here in town, and we're really excited about you being nominated, both for a realtor and for a preservationist and for the podcast.
For the podcast, and yeah, absolutely. I'm so honored. This is
the
incredible.
Trifecta, yeah.
With our firm as well. So thank everybody for voting.
Yes, and this is History Month in Mobile, so there's lots of activities, and we'll tell you more about that here in a moment, especially at the Oakley House Museum. But I want Steve to dive in more about Ashland Place. This is a true little gem and a treasure, and frankly, this is my first time here, and I'm just stunned.
She was blown away driving down these streets. These trees, the way that they kind of drape over the streets,
like a canopy.
It's like in LA, it's just gorgeous and stunning. And so Ashland Place Historic District is kind of nestled in Midtown, and it's kind of by the Visitation Monastery between Spring Hill Avenue and Old Shell Road. And there's close to 100 different homes, and they've just got incredibly rich architecture, very rich homes, stately, lush landscaping, ginormous trees. It's just really beautiful and so peaceful. But it's actually named after there was a Greek revival antebellum mansion in 1846 at the end of the street off Lanier that burned to the ground, unfortunately, in 1926. And after that, a lot of these lots were sold, and then they started building. So most of the architecture in this district is really like turn of the century to about 1930s. Mm-hmm. So it's the only neighborhood that I'm aware of in Mobile that has Georgian, Federal, Mission, Craftsman, neoclassical. It's got all these wonderful blends of architecture in this little area. And what's neat is these streets are so wide here.
Yeah.
So it just you have so much more space. You're not quite as tight as we are in the downtown area. This is one of my favorite places. And coming down Lanier with these giant live oak trees draped over the street, we're gonna do some streetscapes for y'all as well and show you how beautiful these trees are. I think you're going to be amazed.
And it's roughly about 400 acres, and it's bounded by Spring Hill Avenue, Ryan Avenue, Shell Road, and Lavier Avenue. And you were going to tell us something about these names.
Yeah, so it's really fascinating that there's only 4 streets in Ashland Place, and they're all named after literary figures from Mobile's past. So you have, first of all, Augusta Evans Wilson lived in Ashland Place. She was a very acclaimed author here in Mobile. And so I wonder if that was maybe the genesis behind them naming them all after authors. But you had Ryan is named after Father Ryan, who was a priest. It's called the Poet of the Confederacy. So that's one of the streets. And then you have Sidney Lanier. You have Lanier Street, De Leon, and then Madame Levert. Okay. Madame Levert was like a socialite and an author. And so all these 4 different streets here, it's really neat. And I think that was just a way of them to kind of honor these literary figures and make it really more prestigious.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool part of kind of the trivia of this area. I think probably a lot of people don't know about. The other thing is it's actually, there used to be a trolley line that came up Spring Hill Avenue. And so this is the first suburb where they actually had streetcar trolleys that would go back and forth to downtown. I wish we could have kept the trolleys like New Orleans.
Wouldn't that been nice?
That would have been really neat. So we still have some tour buses and stuff that simulate, they look like trolleys, but it's not the same thing quite, That's why they have that wide median down Spring Hill Avenue, because that's where the trolley line used to be.
So is this considered like one of the early suburbs way back when in the early 1900s?
Absolutely, yeah. This was, because there's some other ones like Monterey Place and Flo Claire, and this was like the first, it's a gated community, and they have some beautiful gates. It's like Spanish colonial gates we'll show you with the terracotta tile, and kind of neoclassical with some of the columns. And it's just a beautiful entrance, and it just really helps to make it so private and very walkable. And it's 10 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, and it's still so peaceful, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I was telling Steve
traffic.
I would be worthless if I had a porch like this. I have a nice porch now, but this one is really nice. This is mine on steroids. And you were saying that a lot of the houses don't go on the market here much, and they go pretty quickly.
Yeah, they do. A lot of them in real estate, they're through old families and different things like that. A lot of times they don't even hit the market before they're actually sold. So,
and I also understand that Ashland Place has its own Mardi Gras crew.
Yes, I read that as well. I didn't actually know that.
I didn't either.
That's one of the fun things I think about doing these podcasts is by researching these we find out so much information we didn't even know about. So we love to share that with everybody. And I think the cool thing about history, of course, it gives everyone kind of a sense of place. So, that's why it's named that. And that's why the streets are this way. And that's why they have those big, beautiful trees coming in through that entrance, because there was a beautiful mansion there, 150, 200 years ago. It's almost 200 years ago now when it was actually built. And
for me, when I start learning about the history, it helps me remember the name. It helps me remember everything. And then for me, I visualize, oh, wow. Well, so they might not even they might have had cars, but just had cars. Just started cars.
That's right. The other good thing about this neighborhood is there's art studios, there's restaurants, there's a Publix that they just built not too far away. So they've got all the amenities that they need in the small area where, you don't really have to travel far to be able to have a really great quality of life. And since it's kind of a gated community, it's so private. Like you've been here for how many times? For almost a year, and you never.
Yeah, I've been here a year, and I didn't know about it.
It's kind of hidden back here. But the Visitation Monastery is right across the street. Okay. And I think we'll probably try to get that on video.
Beautiful
as well.
Old monastery right across the street here. Definitely go to that. And a sweet little gift shop in there, too.
It's like going back in time. And
so I don't think we mentioned this. These doors behind us. Tell us about the style of the architecture of these doors and that molding above it. I love these doors.
Yeah, it's just this is a neoclassical home built turn of the century. It's got these scored columns and these Ionic capitals. It's just what I call eye candy. There's so much to look at. It just kind of draws you in, the scale of it. And then it's framed beautifully by this door. I'm actually not certain on that design style. That's Greek Revival. But it's really beautiful. I love the color, the kind of contrast.
It's almost like a sagey green. It's very nice. And then everything around us is so green. You can probably hear the birds. The birds love it here. I can tell. They've not stopped talking since we've been talking.
Yeah, I just think if you have a chance to just drive through it, it's a wonderful, like a Sunday afternoon drive or stroll around. It's just because every house is so different. You have so many different styles. It's really got a post-Victorian, but you've got like some of those Tudors that we saw on Lanier with the beautiful windows, kind of that diamond pattern. And then you've got Craftsman's, and you've got some Greek Revival and some Federal and Georgian. I mean, you've got a great mix of all this kind of. So every house is so unique and different, and I think it just gives you a lot to kind of absorb, and it's just a beautiful place.
And if you're a runner or a walker, this would be eye candy for your walk or run. It would be a real treasure. To me, this is a lot like New Orleans, St. Charles Avenue in that area, without the trolley car, of course, or streetcar, rather.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned earlier, Steve has been nominated for a NAPPY for 3 different things, local podcast, realtor, and preservationist. Please go online, vote NAPPIES, NAPPIES. You can go every day, and we would love it if you go every day and vote for him. He is so deserving. Of course, if you have any questions or any ideas for the show, we are totally open to that. Steve's email is smay@samwinter.com, and his cell is 251-209-4028. And always, please, please, please like, share, and subscribe to Mobile by May on YouTube. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the comments. We've had some really good comments
We
here
have.
lately.
It's been really cool. Absolutely. And we're open to any ideas and suggestions that other people have about maybe some different things that we can feature in these podcasts. Because what we've done, we've tried to, I think we're on our 5th or 6th historic district. We've got Linecoff left.
Yeah.
So we've tried to do that. And then we're going to drill down in certain streets and certain areas and things like that. But people have had some really neat like home improvement types of questions and things that we're going to consider doing in the future, and just trying to do all things Mobile. And we just try to pour everything into preservation and trying to maintain and keep everything that we have. Let's just try to preserve it for the next generation.
I was telling Steve on the way here, a couple of episodes back, we had talked about a house right down the street from me that used to be a school, I believe for boys. And the man who owns it now came down to my house. And I had only mentioned to him once about Mobile by May, but he came down to my porch and told me he watches it on his TV. That's is so cool. Really into renovation. So you just never know. Please just tell your friends. And he loves preserving things. And we can't thank y'all enough for listening and spreading the word. And make sure you go vote every day. VoteNappies.com for Steve. It's the whole month of May that you could vote.
That's a good point.
And we would be very grateful for that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Y'all have a good day.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, y'all, I've got a real treat for you today. I am at the Bragg-Mitchell Mansion on Spring Hill Avenue. It is just the most picturesque setting, this bracketed Greek revival. It's a transitional kind of Italianate Greek revival house, and it is just, the scale is just massive. They scored columns, and you can see the little brackets at the top. It's just a wonderful blend of two different kind of architectural styles, and it's very elegant, and it's set with these giant live oak trees. It really kind of frames the whole house. It's just one of my favorites. These are all azaleas, and they're all different beautiful colors in the springtime. This is a real kind of a crown jewel of Mobile. We have tons of weddings and events here. It's a house museum, and look at this balcony up here at the top with the cast iron banister, and then you've got the floor to ceiling length windows with the shutters that close inside, and look at all the columns and things. It's just really an architectural marvel and just a really special place, and I'm just so grateful for them allowing me to film this and document it and share it with everybody. I love to showcase Mobile's history and architecture, and this really just encapsulates everything together. Look at these front doors. These are the original doors and the transoms, and just the beautiful symmetry and kind of the simplicity of it. These doors are actually faux bois. They're painted, but they look like wood grain. They have such a rich luster to them. Really magnificent. Then as you come into the house, you've got 15-foot ceilings with crystal chandeliers, heart pine flooring. You've got this foyer is just so wide. You've got a circular staircase that goes upstairs, which that is some serious skill and talent to be able to create that. And the arches in here, and all of the doors, eared architraves, kind of eared. Look at this, the mantles with the marble, the cultured marble. I mean, look at that. Really spectacular. It's a double parlor, and my goodness, it must be 40 feet long, this room. So I've done a wonderful job at preserving it. It even has the original ceiling medallions, which you just don't really find those that much anymore. With these pier mirrors, look at the size of that mirror. It's like 12 foot tall. It's just the scale of it. Its enormity is just really a treat for the eyes. Of course, you've got all these original flooring here. Look at these mantels are just special. Have just all of these fine details, and I tell you, the artisan who painted these doors, what they did is called faux bois, and they simulate the wood grain, and it's done so well it almost tricks you. You can't really tell, but it's just really stunning. this newel post here. And look at the kind of craftsmanship to be able to create that with that turn. It's really, really neat. And coming here is a formal dining room, crystal chandeliers, the medallion, and look at Egyptian marble mantle. It's really popular in that time. It's called the Bragg-Mitchell. It was John Bragg, was the original owner of this house, and his brother was Braxton Bragg, a Civil War general. And so this it's situated on an enormous lot, so it's just got a lot of space to really enjoy the setting and get a really, really great view of it. And it's just so pristine and quiet back here. I just love it. And so y'all need to come check out this house museum. This is a really great place. They have a lot of wedding venues here. I've been to a couple here myself. And this is just another jewel in Mobile's crown of these architectural wonders that have been preserved for the next generation. So, and look at this. If you look here in these windows, I don't know if you can tell, see the dimpled, the old glass, the artisan, that old hand-blown glass. You can really see it kind of dimpled, which is really neat. So hope you all enjoy it and come check it out. It's on Spring Hill Avenue.
Thank you for listening to Mobile by May. Please make sure to leave us a review on the podcast platform. Share with your friends on social media. We love questions, so feel free to text us at 601-955-3490 or smay@samwinter.com. You can also follow Steve May on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.